You know, a lot of us who have been vaping for a while on products like this forget that a lot of people who are smokers who are trying to transition into vaping don't have anyone in their ballpark who can give them any information. They don't know of a vaping store, they don't know of any online resources, and their only experience, their only gateway into vaping is going to be the stuff that they find at a gas station or convenience store or grocery store. These folks don't want to take a plunge and buy a $40 battery and a $20 tank. What are they going to do then? You know, they want to try it out, but they don't want to try anything that's overly complicated. They don't want to take a look at anything that involves unscrewing and doing all kinds of things with. That's where things like this come into play. Disposable cigarettes, e-cigarettes rather. These come into play simply because a lot of folks are going to try this before they do anything with vaping, and they're not going to make the leap without it. And since that's the case, even though this is a product that is funded by Big Tobacco, I'm going to give it a proper review, because a lot of folks may not ever start vaping but for products like this. So what do we got here? We got the blue disposable. It is the Carolina Bold flavor. It's one of the new flavors they just came out with. You got all your Proposition 65 and information on the back, blah, blah, blah. And in the box, you've got your blue and a little dealer here. So let's peel her open. It comes out and it's got the little blue condom on the end. And that's it. It's just a cigarette that you vape on. It's got an automatic battery, and that's why this attracts a lot of new vapors. This has the potential to get people into vaping because they'll take this product and they might actually use this instead of smoking for a good long extended period of time. They're going to come to realize that it's not a particularly cost-effective measure, and it's not terribly satisfying, but it might be enough for them. And if it is, this could be a gateway to this. And this will, for the duration, be able to keep them off the cigarettes because it's not costing more than it is going to cost them to smoke. So, what do you got here? A little automatic battery, got the little airflow on the back, or on the side. On the back you got all those little vapor holes, and you got the blue LED on the front. That's it. How does it work? Like that. You just take a traditional mouth-to-lung draw off of it, and it's got a draw very, very similar, very analogous to what a cigarette would have. Now, one of the key features to these, insofar as how well they work, is what's the flavor like? Well, this is their Carolina Bold. It's their approximation of a tobacco. I can tell you right now, this is not extracted from natural tobaccos, and if I were to vape on this at some point without, just blind, if someone were to give me this flavor, I wouldn't guess that it's a tobacco. It's not an unpleasant flavor. It just doesn't taste like tobacco. What does it taste like? Forgive that noise. My fridge. Ice machine decided to fill up. It tastes, and it's going to sound worse than it really does taste, it tastes like vending machine coffee. Vending machine coffee is terrible to drink, but as far as a vaping flavor, it's really not that bad. I can see where they're coming from and how they're trying to approximate tobacco with this. Tobacco's tough. Unless you're naturally extracting it, it's tough to approximate. It's kind of got an earthy, nutty type of flavor to it, and a lot of tobaccos have that, just naturally. But they've gotten this kind of smoky flavor into this. I mean, some sort of artificial smoky flavoring. And I think that's important for the target audience for these, because I think it can get them that smoke fix that you don't get typically off of these. Unless you're vaping on a naturally extracted flue-cured tobacco, or something like a Latakia that is actually smoke-cured. you're not going to get a smoky experience out of it. And a lot of smokers who are transitioning are looking for that. This isn't going to be a terribly long review because you've seen what this thing is now. I picked this up off of Blue E-Cigs because I had a whole bunch of credits from the Blue Rewards from way back in the day. I used and bought a bunch of stuff from them as I was initially trying to transition, and then of course the points keep rolling and blah blah blah, and you can get free products from them. I would never buy one of these. I used my credit, I picked these up, and they shipped them out, and all shipping from Blue is free. If you have a brand new vapor, or a smoker who wants to be a vapor, who's somewhat interested and they're very, very resistant to using this, or even a ecigarette that comes apart, this might not be a bad option to pick one up for them and let them try it out. And then shift over to something like an Ego AIO, which is, in my estimation, one of the best starter kits on the market right now. What you got to do is get their foot in the door, and you got to show them, hey, this can actually do it. And this is a familiar enough device that works just like a cigarette. That might actually be able to do it. Vapor production on this is pretty close to what a real cigarette is, as far as the amount of smoke a cigarette pushes out. Where this thing fails is in its cost-effective measure. And I think that's by design. This, for a pack-a-day smoker, might last a day. Day and a half tops. They're $10 a pop. So it's a gateway. It gets them introduced. And, if they have to use this for 2, 3, 4 days or something like that before they come knocking on your door, hey, man, this thing's too expensive, but I want to do something else. Yeah, let me show you this thing. This is an Ego AIO, or whatever starter kit you might decide that is a good choice for them. And this might actually get them in. The flavor, is it good? It's not bad. It's not the best tobacco I've ever had. It's certainly far from the worst. Performance? I've had 2- and 3-piece cigarette kits that have performed far worse than this. So, again, it's not bad. Cost effective? Not even. But again, I don't think that is the function of this. Blue intends this to be a gateway into their Blue Plus system, which again I think is just not a cost-effective deal at all. Those end up costing just about as much as these at the end of the day. So yeah, if you have a hesitant smoker who you would like to get over to vaping, maybe try to turn them onto one of these. It's not something that I would recommend in the long run because you are supporting Blue Cig, and you are in turn supporting Big Tobacco. Lorillard is the parent company. But if it comes down to this, or buying a pack of Marlboros, try to get them onto these. Even though you're still supporting Big Tobacco, they're not killing themselves, and they're not buying a tobacco cigarette directly. I'm not going to go all political on this and say, don't buy anything that's from Big Tobacco. I don't have a huge problem with it if the product works. And for the most part, it does work. The flavor is lacking a little bit, and the performance, it's typical cigarette-like performance. It's just designed to be a money pit. It's just, their business practice with this. And aside from that, I really got nothing else to say. Not a good long-term solution. Not great flavor. For a cigarette, okay, decent vapor production. Flavor, good enough. I'll say that. It's not bad, it's not horrible, it's not offensive. And I can see where they're coming from, trying to approximate a tobacco. Again, someone who's smoking, this might be their ticket into that. So take this for what it is. And don't say, oh, you're supporting, all these blah, 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 blah. Try to look past that. Try to look at the more important issue of what does this smoker need to get over here where we are. And if they need this product to take that first step before they move all the way over, it's still a viable option. Now, there are other options out there as well. Enjoy makes these as well, and they're just about as widely distributed as these. And there are a couple other like super cheap ones. I've never had any luck with them. The reason I picked this one out is because it's the most widely available, and it's a name that smokers are going to recognize because there have been commercials for it. And these things have been around for a long, long time, going on 10 years now. So keep that in mind. Familiarity with the brand, familiarity with what it is, and familiarity with that. Mouth to lung, direct draw, no button action might be the stepping stone that they need to get them over. And if you could save someone's life by using one of these as a tool, why not? Really got nothing else to say about that. So do support our vaping rights, support advocacy, support HR 2058, support the Cole Bishop Amendment. Visit CASA, visit AMSA, visit Right to Be Smoke Free. Even though some of it kind of contradicts, this company and whatnot, don't look at it too much like that. Remember, Blue started off as an independent company, and they were bought out by Big Tobacco. Whatever else is the case, they've gotten people off of cigarettes. And that's really the important issue here, and that's something we need to look at. Am I telling you to go out and buy a Blue Plus kit? No, I would never recommend or steadily supporting Big Tobacco in this fight. But if you can get people brought over and have them use a disposable product like this for a couple of days, a couple of weeks before they're willing to step up to an Ego AIO or something like this, then why not? Use it as a tool. Use it as what it is. Particularly if you go into their Blue Rewards program, eventually you can build up enough points to pick these up for free. You don't have to pay for shipping. You don't have to pay for the products. Build up a stash of these things. Take them off of them. Blue has to pay to manufacture these. They have to pay to ship these out to you. And all you're doing essentially is visiting their website. You're taking money out of their pocket. So if you want to look at it from supporting a Big Tobacco, or from the perspective of supporting Big Tobacco, you're actually hurting them financially. So take that for what it's worth. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox about that. Consider it a tool if you want to. Don't consider it a tool if you don't. So take a look at it, and it might be exactly what a vapor needs, or a smoker needs to become a vapor. So with that, do what you got to do. Support us. Fight for our rights. Vape on.